Man, just an incredible fight. And I was trying to tell people not to sleep on this fight and not to sleep on one of these fighters in particular. And the fight I'm talking about is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Carlos Principe Cuadras. Man, just an incredible fight. This was for Cuadras' WBC Super Flyweight Championship, 115-pound championship. And Roman Gonzalez managed to move up from flyweight to super flyweight, now his fourth weight class, and win a fourth divisional title in his fourth weight class against Carlos Cuadras, man. Just an incredible fight. Just an incredible fight, man. Gonzalez definitely had control early on with his technical ability, his technical skills. He was able to close the distance. He was able to match footwork with Cuadras. Was able to land consistent, clean combination punches. One good thing that Cuadras was doing, especially in the early rounds, though, I mean, pretty much throughout the fight, was just constantly varying up his movement, constantly varying up his foot movement, changing angles, changing levels. Going high, low. Changing levels on his punches, changing levels on his own defense with regard to how he was moving his torso and everything. The thing is, Gonzalez is just so technical, so sound, so quick on his feet as well, and just so good with his hands. Everything is it just works in concert. He goes from offense to defense and offense to defense, from offense to defense. It's like he's rolling defensively to avoid your shot as he's rolling into his own. Cuadras was able to keep him at maybe 2 to 3 punches at a time, which was a good thing. I was saying before this fight, going into this fight, that Cuadras' game plan needed to be to keep Gonzalez at 1 to 2 punches at a time. And, 1 to 2 punches move, 1 to 2 punches move, 1 to 2 punches move. With this, he was able to at least keep him to maybe 2 to 3. Gonzalez started to get to step on the gas a little bit, like in the early rounds, maybe rounds 2, 3, 4. And started landing maybe 3, 4, 5 punch combos, and that was getting dangerous for Cuadras, man. It was getting real dangerous. Cuadras started to, taunt him a little bit, but he managed to get himself into a nice little groove as well. He was landing a lot of really good shots on Gonzalez. Just the unpredictability of Cuadras' style. The fact that he comes at you at all angles. He'll throw overhand rights, then uppercut lefts, then left hooks, then straight rights. It's like punches are coming at you from all angles at high speed. He was switching stances. He's normally an orthodox fighter. He was switching into southpaw, like feigning a right-handed jab and then throwing like a monster left cross hook, like a left hooking cross, across Gonzalez's face, and landing a lot of those punches, landing a lot of punches like that, where it's like he almost like switched, like going back and forth, shifting between southpaw and orthodox, and throwing just those monstrous hammer blows from the opposite stance. Incredible stuff that he was doing, in light of the fact that Gonzalez, at first it appeared like Gonzalez was just grinding him down. It looked like he might do what he did to Edgar Sosa, or like what he did to Brian Valoria, where he was just closing the distance, grinding him down, landing a lot of clean shots early. But once Cuadras started to get his own rhythm together, he started rolling with the shots a little bit better. He started landing his own shots more consistently and better as well, and making better offense to offense transitions on him for his own self as well. And he basically started slowly clawing his way back into the fight, up to basically where in the latter rounds, I mean, just watching it, I felt like it was anybody's fight. It was anybody's fight going into that last round, in my opinion. And they both needed it big. Essentially, what wound up happening is the judges scored a unanimous decision for Roman Gonzalez. 117, 111, 116, 112, 115, 113. I think the 117, 111 is definitely too wide. Personally, I scored it a draw, but I'm not mad at either guy winning. I'm really not. And the thing is, there was so much intense action in every single round, and virtually every round, that I mean, it's almost like a toss up as to who you could give rounds to in a lot of those cases, because Cuadras was landing a lot of punches, man. He was landing a lot of just fast, furious flurries, man. He's fast and he's furious, man. He's furious flurries is what he was landing. Just incredible shoe shines, and then he'd come over the top with it. He'd be shoe shining with the uppercuts, then like the left hook, and then like a right hooking cross, then overhands, then switch stances, throw a left hooking cross, then switch stances back. He'd do a little dance. He'd do a little like matador dance, and it was crazy, man. It was just an incredible performance he put on. And I mean, the thing is, I was trying to tell people that Cuadras was not somebody to be overlooked. He was not somebody to lay down. He was not an easy mark. for Roman Gonzalez to just pick up a fourth weight title to, to break Alexis Arguello's record for Nicaragua and become only the second fighter ever to win world titles at 105, 108, 112, and 115. He's only the second fighter ever to do that after the great Leo Gomez of Venezuela. Um, and he did it with, Gonzalez did it without any losses. Gomez had quite a few, yeah, on his way to doing that. But, just, it, just an incredible fight, man. I can't get that across enough between these two guys. Cuadras, I thought was being like heavily underserved, heavily underrated, and unfortunately, I think that's just an overall flaw of the fact that, in light of the fact that the smaller divisions, the lighter divisions, are getting a lot more attention, a lot more shine nowadays. They had the HBO and all the networks as a whole haven't necessarily laid as much groundwork as I think that they probably could have and should have, because I think more people should have known who Cuadras was and what he was about going into this fight, and then they would have really known, like, yo, like this guy's the real deal. Like, if Gonzalez beats him, this is serious business, and he did. He managed to pull it off, man. Yeah, just an incredible fight. I look at this kind of similar to the way that I looked at the Estrada fight. When I first saw the Gonzalez Estrada fight, I was like, whoa, like, I just knew that was a legendary night. Like, that was, HBO's legendary nights. Like, that was a legendary night, even though it wasn't on HBO, man. It was on Wealth TV, but that was incredible stuff. And, I've really wanted that rematch for a long time, and I still do. And the distinct possibility looks like Estrada may be fighting Kazuto Ioka for the full version of the WBA title, because Estrada has a super, Ioka has the regular. They're unifying their titles and all that good stuff. They may be fighting on New Year's. Incredible fight and an excellent payday for Estrada, one that he rightfully, truthfully deserves for Ioka. He's been getting paid pretty well lately, as it seems, but Ioka will get him the serious dollars. He'll get him the Roman Gonzalez dollars, and he'll make it so that if and when they eventually make a rematch between the Gonzalez and Estrada, they'll be getting those $1 million purses that they've been asking for. So just an incredible fight, man. I think that'll be another incredible fight. I definitely favor Estrada to defeat Inoue though. Not Inoue, Ioka though. More technical fighter, just overall a more skilled fighter. Ioka, I think, flyweight is really where he tops out. Matter of fact, I think if he could still make light flyweight, that would be a better division for him. He'd be more dominant there. Kind of the same way with Gonzalez. I think that 115, I see him the way that, like, I look at Robert Guerrero at welterweight, or like Roberto Duran at light middleweight. He's a fleshy guy. He's a fat guy, basically. He's a fat guy fighting above what he should be fighting at for his optimal leanness and athletic ability. It's just it's basically a case of, he's gonna get paid more the higher he goes in weight. Obviously, the bigger risks he takes, it'll make those purses bigger. And just overall, the purses, I think, come with the territory of him winning, though. So if he is able to still make 112, if he's able to figure it out, which I think he should be, he definitely looks like he could still drop those extra pounds. He looks like a fleshy guy. Even at the official weigh-in, you could see some extra poundage around that waist. He doesn't look like Cuadras did, for instance. Cuadras, looking like a lean, mean fighting machine. But in spite of that, it's really the technical skill that pulled him through this fight. And see, like, compared to the Estrada fight, where Estrada was really able to match wits and match skills with Gonzalez and make that just a tough fight on Gonzalez because of the fact that he was fighting with an equally skilled guy, Cuadras made this a tough fight because he was a physically skilled guy. He wasn't the same. He didn't have the same kind of, like, technical, textbook, angular, timing type of skills as an Estrada, where he's timing you, he's catching you, he's countering, he's catching shots, he's countering, he's defending, he's rolling, he's countering, catching, and he's doing it, all those very subtle things. Cuadras is more of like a wildcat. He's more of a wild style type fighter, drop a little bit of Canelo, a little bit of Erislandy Lara, and a little bit of Ricardo Mayorga, blend them up, and boom, and what you get is a concoction that equals Carlos Cuadras, man. It's just an incredible blend of styles, fancy footwork, mean hand skills, punches from all angles at high speed, with just good reflexes overall, good footwork reflexes, good foot reflexes, good hand reflexes. Everything that he does is just he's just a supremely athletic, agile fighter, a guy that was able to take Roman's best shots, and even though he was momentarily stunned on a few different occasions, he kept on pumping, man. He just from the way it seemed is that with each round, those minute in between each round, Cuadras would exit out of that minute break in between rounds, and he would be rejuvenated for the next round and start the next round as though the last round never even happened. Even if he got touched up a bit in the last round, it was like it never happened. He was back up on his toes, sticking and moving, shoe shining and moving, and just doing his thing. With Gonzalez, it's almost seemed like after like he was like almost grateful to be going back to that corner, for the next rest, and then he would come out each round and look just like he had lost just a little something as those rounds progressed into the later rounds. Although he did finish strong, in the last minute of the 11th and in the full 12th, he definitely finished strong, and that 12th was a brilliant back and forth affair. Just a brilliant back and forth round that I think kind of summarized pretty much what the fight was all about. Cuadras was on the move, shoe shining, throwing punches at all angles. Gonzalez was cutting off the ring and just being just a relentless, cut off the ring pressure fighting machine. Throwing sharp shots up the middle as he rolled in and out of from his offense to his defense. And just an incredible fight between these two. Fight of the year candidate, most assuredly. Man, there's been so many good fights this year. So many good fights, man. This one yesterday with Comey and Robert Easter. Thurman Porter, Taguchi Landaeta. I'm probably forgetting several. Vargas, Salido. I might have to rewatch a bunch of these fights, man, because there's been so many good fights this year. Just absolutely brilliant stuff. But brilliant stuff from the current pound for pound number one, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Carlos Cuadras, I was saying that before, like if he were to upset Gonzalez, he deserves to be at the very least, bottom half top 10, if not top 5 in the pound for pound rankings. Personally, I don't necessarily structure mine like in a set structure, but to me, like Cuadras definitely ranks in the top 10. Definitely, just based off of the performance, the fact that he was able to show and prove against a fellow elite, one of the great little fighters of all time, and you could safely say that with Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, man, doing things that very few other fighters are able to do, and doing some things that possibly no other fighters do. I think once he retires and it's all said and done, he's gonna rank right up there with Ricardo Finito Lopez, with Hiroki Ioka, with Myung-Woo Yu, with Mark Too Sharp Johnson, with who else? Michael Carbajal. Most likely higher than Carbajal, incidentally, by now. But just with all the all-time greats, Yoko Gushikin. There's another one. I already mentioned Myung-Woo Yu, Jungkook Chang. Just a lot of great fighters. Kahosai Galaxy, the Galaxy brothers, the Galaxy twins, man. Gonzalez is up there, and they asked him. He said that he'd be grateful and very happy to fight Naoya Inoue, and that's a huge money fight, huge money fight. Gonzalez made apparently $400K for this fight with Cuadras. Cuadras made $250K for this. Big time underpaid, man, so underpaid. But they'll be getting their big paydays, I think, from here on out. Inoue will definitely net Gonzalez a nice chunk of change for this next one, as long as Inoue holds up to it and does fight Gonzalez next. Possibly on one of these New Year cards in Japan. But I'd love it if they could bring Naoya Inoue to the United States and show him off to the Western audiences, man, because the dude is something to behold. I've shown some of my buddies here on YouTube, on the internet, and everything, a lot of his videos, and I've definitely managed to open a few eyes and open up a few minds to the greatness that is Naoya Inoue. The just sheer audacity of the young man daring to be great and proving himself to be great. So Gonzalez Inoue, excellent fight if it comes off next. There is the possibility Inoue may fight somebody else New Year's and then save Gonzalez for next year. Either way, I wouldn't be disappointed, man. These guys are fighting top level opposition after top level opposition. Roman Gonzalez now 46-0 with 38 knockouts. Carlos Cuadras now 35 1-1 with 27 knockouts. Fantastic fight. Fantastic.